What's good with y'all? It's your man Gip back with another video. Back with another reaction video, guys. Whew. Just back here in my backyard, running some laps, man. Nice sized yard. I always like to put this little sauna suit on. Just helps me work up a better sweat. Get some of these impurities out of my body, you dig? But just tapping in with you guys, man. I am gonna be reacting to a video today, actually two videos. One of another gentleman that I follow on YouTube, Anton Daniels. You may be familiar with him. Very inspirational guy, man. A lot of stuff that he says, it resonates with me a lot. Been checking out his content for a minute now, and it's kind of like when you can relate to somebody, you start to feel like you got a lot in common with them, as you guys must have with me. It must be something that you guys like about me if you can continue to keep watching my vlogs, which I appreciate that very much. But as far as the young man that I'm speaking on, he just gives me a lot of insight on business. Always has a lot of uplifting and encouraging words. A lot of the things that I like to watch Anton Daniels for. I like how he's a family man. He takes care of his family, his wife and his daughter. He's a businessman. He gets up, he grinds. It's a trip too, because he's based out of city of Detroit, Michigan. And it's funny because I lived in Detroit for quite some time. I do got some relatives down there. It's like they say, man, iron sharpens iron. And to a further extent, it's not always about what somebody got as far as money goes. A lot of times you can just like a person just because you recognize the real in them. And they say real recognize real. So it must be something you guys like about me. There's definitely a lot that I like about a lot of you guys. I do my best, guys, to try to keep you all motivated and uplifted to keep pushing forward, just as you guys keep me motivated with all the positive feedback that I get from all of you guys down in the comment section. It's funny, guys, I'm sitting here looking at myself on the screen, and mind you, this was my very first YouTube video. Very first YouTube video. And I must admit, I have come a long way in terms of recording, editing, getting more comfortable, looking at the lens of this camera, sharing with you guys my thoughts, pouring out my heart to you guys, and come a long way, man. Just the upgrades in gear that I was using as far as my camera, how I was editing. Here it is, 5 years later, still going strong on YouTube. Restaurant business, 5 years behind me in my rear view. It's crazy because I was also tripping off of how I had decided to close the restaurant down. And believe it or not, guys, I would say maybe 60 to 90 days after that, that's when COVID set in and just wreaked havoc around the world. A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of essential workers was allowed to still stay open. So I always trip off the fact of how if I didn't decide to close it, COVID probably would have shut it down. And even after the COVID epidemic had blew past us, the owner of the building, older Jewish man that I had a real good relationship with, he ended up passing away. Long story short, his children inherited a lot of the property, and they began conducting a sell-off of a lot of the buildings that the man owned. And that's when I learned my lesson and vowed to myself to never put that type of money into a building trying to create a business if I don't own the property.
What's going on? It's Anton from antondaniels.com. As you can see, I'm at the restaurant. It's right after Halloween, and we have officially decided to close the restaurant. So I don't anticipate this video being that long. And you also have to excuse my voice because I've been at the Pistons game, yelling, screaming, hollering. So it's just now starting to get back. And then I've been partying with a lot of friends that's been in and out of town. But long story short, it wasn't a profitability issue. It wasn't an issue as it relates to the business itself. I just realized that it took more than I anticipated as it relates to day-to-day, every single day activities for me to run this restaurant, and then the return wasn't as big as some other businesses that I have. So I decided to focus all of my energy on the businesses with the biggest growth. So the thing about the restaurant business, and I would say 98 to 99% of all businesses in general, is that it requires you to be there and to massage it. There's any business that people are telling you guys that you can just run and it's just automatic and you just get checks or whatever. There's only a couple of different businesses that I can think of and that I know of people that participates in, which I'm involved in a couple of those too. But even those aren't like you can just sit back and chill. It's a lot of leg work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of different things that goes along with that. But very few businesses in the world that I can think of outside of scamming somebody requires you to be, or, allows you to be able to just sit and chill and not collect, not actually be there to massage it. Restaurant business is certainly not one of them. One of the mistakes that I made earlier on in this process, not as it relates to the business itself, but just underestimating the amount of time that I had to spend here, making sure that things ran right, making sure employees did what they're supposed to do, making sure that I'm not getting, they're not stealing from me. Somebody calls off, you got to be there, all of that, you know what I'm saying? And then you start to evaluate how much your time is worth. One of the mistakes that I made earlier on was that, as you guys know, I just recently quit my job, but one of the mistakes I made earlier on was that I was still, putting in 60, 70 hours a week in corporate America. Then I had to run my other businesses. And then I was supposed to run the restaurant full time too. So, for the better part of a year, I probably only averaged 2 to 3 hours of sleep a day. And that's just not healthy. I started to pick up a lot of weight. I started to be a lot more stressed out because I didn't believe in excuses. I still don't believe in excuses. I don't believe in failure. But then at the same time, it's like, what is failure? And how important is your health? One of the things that happened recently, I can hear the fire trucks and stuff. I'm trying to let these things go by. Anyways, one of the things that recently happened, not to me, but to a fellow entrepreneur in the area, was that he wound up, I think he had a heart attack and he died. But he was a restaurant owner, and, it just, I guess, the day-to-day grind over so many years just became too stressful, and it took him out. And I don't, want to be that successful to where I can't be there for my daughter and things, I can't travel without worrying, which is, you go out of town, you go places, as you guys know, I just really started traveling a lot more lately since I had quit my job. But one of the things, as you guys know, is that I used to travel a whole lot more than I have been recently. And I can attribute a lot of that to the restaurant. So in addition to that, there's some other things. Rita, who I wound up relying on more and more so that I can get a little bit of sleep, she had career aspirations and things that she wanted to do, that she wanted to cross off her bucket list. And it wasn't fair to her long term for me to require her to participate in something that I started and I was running, And don't get me wrong, she loved it just as much as I did. But at the same time, you got to evaluate at what point in your life do you want to do certain things. And then, how long do you put other things that you want to do in addition to that on hold until you can, get around to it so that you can run this thing? And it just never ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have a lot of turnover. We paid a lot of money per hour in correlation to what the minimum wage is. We pay significantly more than that. And people just don't want to work. They don't have the work ethic. They don't put the time in. People going to call off. They're going to get drunk. They're going to, all of that stuff. Like, it's crazy. And how long do you want to deal with that? You know what I'm saying? No matter how well the processes are that you put in place, you can't prevent human error.
All right, guys, let's get into my video. That was Anton giving you the different reasons on why he has shut down his restaurant business. And like I was telling you when I was walking my laps, a lot of the stuff that he was explaining in this video, it really resonates with me. It hit me hard, man, and it was really touching, because this is exactly the same way I was feeling when I had come to the conclusion that I did not want to move on and continue in trading all of my time for money, man. Really. Getting older, not a spring chicken anymore, and anything that I do moving forward, it has to make sense, and if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Let's jump into my video. I'm gonna share with you guys what I was dealing with over in mid-city Los Angeles area.
What's up, guys? Another beautiful day. It's Sunday here in Los Angeles, California. I just got out of church with my family. I'm gonna take you guys down to Mid-City Deli. It's one of the businesses that I own. I just want to document and share some things with you about the cost of doing business and how sometimes you could lose in business. Let me get these out my mouth, man. Got these Invisalign, trying to get these pearly whites straight. What y'all think, man? They straight? They coming along, man. Shout out Invisalign. I kind of wanted to make a video, just kind of letting you know the downside of trying to create a business. And sometimes, the way you plan things out, it doesn't always work that way. As you can see in the title, to help sustain my family and take care of myself and provide jobs for the community and just basically do something good. As you know, on social media, it's kind of like people always only glorify, and no one really likes to document when they're feeling down or a business may haven't worked out the way they wanted to work, or just people don't like to put bad things out there that's going on with their life. They usually just like to broadcast what's good and try to portray a lifestyle that they're really not living, they're really not happy, and take you through the place, give you a walkthrough of all the stuff that I did in here and how I spent all that money. You get this refrigerator here, beverage cooler. We have another deli case here. It's where we store all our produce or whatnot. Over here, another deli display where I kept all the meats and quality cheeses from Boar's Head. So thoughtful when you're trying to open a business. Do all your due diligence on your research and the demographics of the neighborhood, parking, check with the city, check the building out, make sure a lot of stuff is up to par. Like the 40 grand I spent on electrical, that was really a dumb move. But I was so excited about opening this place up and, getting out the streets and doing something right with myself. I mean, it's just like I'd rather spend the 40 grand on that than a new car that's gonna get old. At least I felt like, hey, this is gonna pay me, this is what's gonna take care of me. Everything was set up right here, man. The register, man. Everything was integrated with our bank. I mean, we had good prices. I created this place just to really have a job for myself, guys, But when I created this place, I was really just trying to create a job for myself and for some of my friends and family members. And those of you that have done that before, as you know, you really can't get involved with your friends and family. You can't expect support from them. Really, they just be hating on the low. You know what I mean? I dealt with a lot of micromanaging of people along with micromanaging this business. And it really just weighed its toll on me. Just started to being depressed, really not having any life, guys. Working 10 and 12-hour days, going home with not much energy. Not a lot of time to spend with my daughter or my mother or my father who's sick right now. 6 days a week. I would close on Sunday. I would take one day off, to try to make some time to do things that I wanted to do. But that day was so fast. I mean, it was like I was still working. This was something that me and my wife always wanted to do, get into the food industry. And it was just a lot learned, man. I just really learned a lot, that you really can't fool with your family and friends when you're chasing your goals and dreams. Because the things that you're trying to acquire in life and where you might be trying to go, they might not be trying to go there. You can't force people to think like you. That's what I had to really realize. I feel bad about this. I feel bad that I had to close this. I was going to close once again about a year ago. I mean, it's been hell, guys. Out of those 6 years, I've been sued. Let me show you. You see all these decals? All these ADA decals, handicap accessibility. I had to get all this stuff put in because when you're dealing with the city, they don't let you know how you have people in wheelchairs and handicapped people. They go around looking for lawsuits on establishments that they enter, and they try to find any flaws, like the tables here. These tables cost $300 a piece. At first, I originally just had these with this leg underneath here. So if someone's in a wheelchair, they can't push up to this in their wheelchair and sit here because it's not proper seating. The place pretty much cleaned out. Been taking everything over to a warehouse that I got. A property I have is a couple units over there, rental units. And under one of the units, I have a large warehouse. That's where I've been storing all this stuff at. So yeah, gonna stick everything in storage. And just keep moving, man.
Ask him.
Need some help?
Yeah, we need some help. You can put that down.
Y'all can't handle that, man. All right, y'all think that way.
Easy.
Easy 600.
Hey, that was easy way, huh?
Hey, ya sabía que no iba a entrar. Yo te dejé ver qué tan verga eres.
Getting it done, y'all. Getting this stuff out of here. We all loaded up on the truck. This one right here is going to be the most challenging, guys. We're trying to get this one here out that door. It's one of the properties that we got 2 1-bedrooms. Over here, upstairs, is a 2-bedroom unit up there.